Jeremy Clarkson is, right now, waiting on a council decision for something he shouldn't even have to ask for twice. A car park on his own land that people need because his farm is popular. And the paperwork trail behind this one application proves how much red tape one man has been forced to survive just to stop his own customers parking on the road. Here's the sentence that matters. From Clarkson's own team in the current application, Season 6 has been commissioned
and
will air in summer.
But I am delighted to tell you that Season 6 of Clarkson's Farm is currently being filmed. It's in production. And that's particularly good news for me.
3 further years to monitor and review thereafter seems appropriate. That's not a man trying to pull a fast one. That's a farmer giving the council a clear, honest timeline tied to a broadcast date that's already public knowledge. So they know exactly what they're approving and for how long. No games, a specific window openly justified. Now, let that sit for a second. 3 years stated plainly on the record by a business that's done nothing but tell the council the truth the whole way through. So, here's what's really going on. It starts with a car park that should never have needed this many rounds of paperwork in the first place, and a piece of land that was never treated like an ordinary field to begin with. Diddley Squat sits inside the Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty. That single designation puts tougher planning restrictions on Clarkson's land than most farms in England will ever face. Every fence post, every gravel patch, every request for parking has to clear a higher bar than it would almost anywhere else. Keep that in mind because it explains a lot of what follows. This was never going to be a simple conversation. Go back to 2021. Clarkson applies for planning permission for a restaurant near the farm shop. It's refused. Most business owners would have walked away there. Instead, in August 2022, he opens a 40-cover restaurant anyway inside a building called Lowland Barn, using permitted development rights. The same legal mechanism available to any landowner in the country trying to bring a disused agricultural building back into use. He wasn't hiding it. He confirmed it himself in writing later on. 12 days into that August, the council serves an enforcement notice. The restaurant closes within about a month of opening. Think about what that actually cost. Not in some abstract sense. In Clarkson's own words, as a result of this, I've had to sell most of the cows I bought, and now I'm back to using chemicals. I no longer wish to open a restaurant. That's a farmer whose entire supply chain for a beef-based menu collapsed overnight, forced back onto artificial inputs he'd specifically been trying to move away from. A diversification project built to support British farming shut down inside weeks. By January 2023, Clarkson writes to the council to make his position completely clear. We do not wish to expand the on-site businesses any further. We are perfectly happy with what we have. Contrary to some of the claims being made, I do not want to turn Diddley Squat Farm into Disneyland. It is, after all, where I live. But we really do need on-site parking. Read that closely. He isn't asking for an empire. He's asking to stop his own visitors from clogging up a country lane outside his front door. And when the enforcement notice against the restaurant stood anyway, he appealed it alongside a separate refusal on the car park. That's not a contradiction. That's a man who tried to accept a bad outcome quietly. And then, when he saw the actual cost of walking away, decided his livelihood was worth fighting for. Any farmer in his position would have done exactly the same thing. The appeal hearing runs across 2 days in March 2023 with Planning Inspector R.J. Perrins visiting the site twice. 2 visits, a formal 2-day hearing for a car park and a barn. Here is where it turns. On the restaurant, Perrins sides against Clarkson. 6 weeks to tear it all down. His words, 6 weeks is more than sufficient to restore the surrounding land to the condition it was in before the breach took place. 6 weeks for a business that employed local people and sold local produce in an industry that famously can't survive on subsidy and unpredictable weather alone. But on the car park, the one thing that was actually about public safety, about stopping cars parking on a country lane, Perrins grants it. He approves an extension to the existing parking area, formalizes the temporary parking, allows new access arrangements, and permits a small calf attached to the lambing shed alongside it. Even the inspector, hearing both sides, ruling against Clarkson on the restaurant, could see the parking was never the problem. It was the solution. 3 years from June 2023, that clock runs out around 2026. Clarkson isn't asking the council for anything new right now. He's asking them not to switch a working solution off. Here's where it turns again. Because this is not the first time Clarkson's had to come back and ask the same council for permission to keep his own visitors safe. Back in February 2023, before the ruling even landed, there was already an earlier bid for a temporary car park to run until January 2025. 70 cars, 4 rows on a 60 by 32 meter field. Then the ruling gives him a different 3-year window to around 2026. Now, in 2026, he's back again asking for 2030. 3 separate applications for the same patch of gravel for a facility that Oxfordshire's own Highways Authority says prevents cars parking dangerously on the road outside. Think about what that actually means. A man who found a genuine problem, his farm's success was causing a road safety issue, solved it, and has now had to re-justify that same solution to the council 3 times in 3 years. That's not Clarkson dragging this out. That's a system that can't commit to a decision longer than a few years at a time, forcing a working farmer back to the drawing board again and again for something that was never controversial to begin with. And here's the parts the council itself can't argue with because they said it themselves. In 2023, we understand that the planning process shown in Season 2 of Clarkson's farm can seem obstructive. Not might seem, can seem. Their word. They went on record insisting, as with any other planning authority, we have a legal responsibility to make sure that planning laws and policies are followed correctly by everyone. This is regardless of who they are, and we treat Diddley Squat Farm no differently. Fine words. Again, in 2024 they went further, practically admitting the car park battle didn't need to happen at all. We encouraged Diddley Squat Farm to make an application for a temporary car park long before the appeal. Read that again. The council is on record saying they told him to sort out parking, and he did, and it still took a formal appeal to get it approved. So, ask yourself, if the council knew a car park was the right call before the appeal even started, why did it take an inspector, a 2-day hearing, and 2 site visits to actually grant it? The council's own language does a lot of work trying to sound reasonable, listing what they've approved, the lambing shed, a barn, the farm shop, insisting they don't want to see the farm shop close, that they're pleased to see local produce being sold there. Ending with, our door has always been open and will remain open should they choose to work with us. Fine words. But words are cheap when the paper trail shows a business that's had to fight formally 3 separate times for the one thing everybody, the council, the Highways Authority, even most of the local community, actually agrees is necessary. Not everyone in the village agrees, and this channel won't pretend otherwise. One resident, after the restaurant closure, called it a win for the community and said the farm was in the wrong place. That's a real voice on the record, and it deserves to be heard. But set it against the council that publicly admits it encouraged the car park application, a Highways Authority that's formally endorsed it, and a business that employs local people and sells local produce, and one unhappy neighbor doesn't add up to the case West Oxfordshire District Council has spent 3 years failing to close. Even a county councillor said as much at the time. Liam Walker, backing Clarkson's appeal outright. Local councils need to understand and appreciate farming has significantly changed for many reasons, and the planning rules need to also change to allow them to diversify quickly. Farmers right across the country deserve our support. That's not a fringe opinion. That's an elected official looking at the same paperwork you're at right now and reaching the same conclusion. Here's the detail that changes everything, though. It isn't West Oxfordshire District Council that's shown any real conviction here. It's a completely different authority, Oxfordshire County Council. The people who actually understand roads have stepped in and backed Clarkson without hesitation. Their transport lead, Oliver Eden, put it plainly. The additional car parking is an important facility in accommodating car parking that would otherwise likely cause disruption and safety concerns on the adjacent highway. That's an expert authority confirming in writing that Clarkson was right about the parking the whole time. And Eden goes further. Oxfordshire County Council support the extension of the temporary permission as suggested to align with the expected ongoing demand associated with the television series schedule. The people whose actual job is road safety are telling the planning authority to stop dragging its feet and match the permission to reality. The farm draws crowds, the crowds need somewhere to park, and pretending otherwise just pushes the risk back onto the road. Clarkson's team said much the same in their own submission. The site continues to be popular and attracts sufficient customers to warrant the provision of additional parking. It maintains the associated benefits to the farms and other businesses that supply the farm shop and cafe. That's not a celebrity making demands. That's a business owner pointing out that other local farms and suppliers depend on this arrangement too. When Diddley Squat's car park works, other people's livelihoods work with it. So, where does this leave things? The 2030 application is still sitting with West Oxfordshire District Council, undecided, no date given for a ruling. But look at what's actually in front of them. A highways authority that's already said yes. A business that's been open and specific about exactly how long it needs and why. A 3-year track record proving the car park does precisely what it was built to do. Keep cars off a country road and keep a working farm's visitors safe. There's no real case left to make against it. There's just a council that has, by its own admission, made this harder than it needed to be. Watch for that decision. If it lands the way the evidence points, it won't be a win handed to Clarkson. It'll just be the council finally catching up to what everyone else, the Highways Authority, the local councillor, even West Oxfordshire's own past statements, already agreed on months ago. Tell us in the comments what we should dig into next. The pub's numbers? Hawkstone's accounts? Or do you want us back here the second West Oxfordshire finally makes up its mind?